My name is Matt Baker. I'm the Director of Energy Programs at Fairlead Integrated, which is also Earl Energy. Afghanistan is in the 14th century in terms of the Muslim calendar. Pretty good analogy in the sense that it's very rustic, carts and whatnot, but yet they have 90% penetration with cell phones. Everybody in Afghanistan has a cell phone. I personally think this microgrid technology and the ability to package it in small pieces that can be built out later is analogous to that cell phone. We want to take this new power technology and put it into a package that we can export to countries that don't have it or improve our own resiliency. But it's making it simple and usable for that customer. Nobody started by putting telephone lines everywhere in Afghanistan. They zoomed right to cell towers. And I don't think we should be trying to come up with huge megawatt grids and things like that in the third world. It makes no sense. We probably wouldn't do it that way in the developed world if we started right now. But we have this infrastructure that, of course, we've invested in it a lot, and we want to make sure we don't waste our money. What I would say is if Tesla and Edison showed up today, they could describe every piece of the grid that we have now. They might be a little stumped by the computers, but that's it. They would know what transformers are. They'd probably still be arguing about AC, DC. But if Alexander Graham Bell showed up, who invented the telephone, and you showed him an Apple iPhone or a Samsung, his head would explode off his shoulders because he couldn't believe all that technology. Power hasn't advanced like communications, but it's about to. So I'm looking forward to a time when Edison and Tesla show up and they're like, wow, you guys finally did something with this 100 years in between when you were here. We're very close, except for the cost piece. And the cost piece is coming because battery technology is probably one of the biggest impediments to rolling out the microgrid. It's coming down a lot, solar's coming down a lot. Earl Energy and Fairlead, that's where our company is focused. And we have modularized microgrids that are scalable and designed not to need a grid to interact with. In fact, it actually simplifies it. But cost is going to be the driver on that, and finding customers who are confident enough that they'll want to buy it. The navies of the world are going to all-electric ships. They're already there with hybrid power. We have these things called LHDs in the US inventory, and they just hybridized 2 of them. Those 2 ships save something like 60% of power and have much increased operational efficiency. The other thing is you move to energy-based weapons like rail guns and lasers, you need tremendous amounts of energy, and the current shipboard technology just isn't going to work. They're going to have to improve on that electrical infrastructure even more. So I did a year with Shell Oil as part of a military fellowship. So I understood quite a bit about fracking and natural gas and oil, and really wasn't a surprise to me that the prices started to go down. But what's happened is again, you have this customer who's very cost driven, and when the price of oil goes down, it basically transcends a whole lot of things, and so it's cheaper for him to run his generators, just like he's always done. So he doesn't really understand a return on investment with your expensive kit. Yeah, it's going to save a lot of fuel, unless he's a customer like the military, who, even though the cost of a gallon of diesel is, I don't know, we'll call it $2.50 since we're in Massachusetts. A guy in the military knows that's really probably closer to $15 a gallon by the time it gets to that vehicle or that generator in Iraq or Afghanistan or something like that. It's very, very hard to talk a customer into investing in this technology when diesel is so cheap. So we've been struggling because of that low oil price. The power requirements on that ship are absolutely at an inflection point, and it's so important because ships are one of the huge polluters and not many people realize this, is those low-speed diesels on merchant ships are a huge dump into the atmosphere. And so if we can make those hybrid, or those ships hybrid and clean up their emissions, that's gigantic.